you see Val? You can see Valorant in the background. Okay. So today I'm doing a video on things I wish I knew when I started making rugs, which was like I think it's been nearly 2 years actually, it's coming up on 2 years. These are all just little things that I wish I knew. There's a lot more information out there now compared to what they used to be, which is good. More information, very good, very yes, but it can be a bit overwhelming, but it's just a few things that I wish I knew before I started. One, first thing is research, bro. Fucking research. I'm like a hands-on, send it kind of person. Research stuff, research rugs, research costs, research what you got to do, how long it takes, how much room you need, all this stuff. I barely researched. I just went in and did it. Which, I mean, if you're that kind of person, that's fine, but you are probably going to lose a bit of money on the way, and you might get into it and then you might not love it. So bro, research is good. YouTube, TikTok's pretty good. Instagram's pretty good too. Also, just message people. If you have any questions, bro, shoot me a DM. Or just shoot... I don't want to say send other people messages just in case they don't want to be answering questions about it. But most of the rug community, they're pretty helpful people. Reddit's really good too. If you're in the tufting subreddit, that's amazing. I'd say go-tos for research would be YouTube. Reddit is amazing. TikTok's pretty good, but it's like you need more in-depth stuff. YouTube and Reddit would be my best bet. Best two things to do. But I mean, hey, if you're like me, you just want to send it, bro, just send it. Make some rugs. You will lose a bit of money at the start, I'll be honest. I ripped my first few sheets. The sheets they're not cheap. The sheets are see the big thing Snorlax is on? Yeah, that's what the sheets are. Ripping through them, not a fun feeling. I do not recommend. Number two, with things I wish I knew before I started, is costs. Technically, if you did the research part, you'd figure out the cost part. So they kind of go hand in hand. Which makes sense because I did very little research. I just kind of did it. And cost is good because you always want to know how much you're spending on the fabrics in case you do rip them in the beginning. You want to have a good idea of how much yarn you're going to use. So after your first or second rug, you have a pretty good idea how much yarn you use per rug. You also want to make sure you're not spending too much money on things. I'd say always build a frame. Don't buy one. They are quite overpriced when people sell them. You only need something simple to start off with anyway. I started off with something crazy. I did a big 2 by 1 meter frame. Don't recommend. Just make something small, something easy. If you have the extra money and you're not really too worried about if you lose the money, just send it, go for it, enjoy it. It's fun. It's a very fun hobby. But if you're calculating down to like the every dollar, which is, I mean, it's fair enough. People like, bro, life happens. Then I'd say make sure you're not overspending anything and make sure you know how much it's gonna cost you all up before you start. Because say you buy the gun and then you start researching, you're like, oh, shit, I gotta add this too before I can even do it. So just research your cost. If I give you a ballpark, it's around $600-700. In the other Q&A video, I did a summary of how much it costs. It's around $600 to $800 to start. If you're gonna get everything, I'd say it's around $1,000 if you're gonna get a fair bit of yarn. But anywhere between like $600-700 to begin with making rugs. What do we got? Number three. Number three is a big one. Number three, I think, is one that why people stop making rugs, to be honest. I'm just gonna move my leg there. That's a bit more comfy. There we go. In theory, tufting is you draw your stencil on, make some lines, glue your back, and then trim it, right? It seems pretty simple, you know what I mean? But in practice, so what would you call number three? Number three is theory, practice in theory. Practice versus the theory? I think that's what I'm looking for. Practice versus the theory. So the first two Snoopies I made, I'll see if I have a photo or a video or something. I'll put it on the screen. First two I made, they completely ripped the fabric, went through the sheet, had to ditch that like $60-70 sheet. Wasn't fun throwing that stuff away with yarn in it. Sucked. There goes like $100 right off the rip. The theory versus the practice makes perfect. You know, everyone says that. It's true. So, I mean, when you start making rugs, don't think you're just going to go in and be like, yeah, bro, this is easy, dude. Just put some stencils, draw some rugs, make some rugs. It's not. Some people get the hang of it a lot quicker. It took me around 4 rugs, or I'd say around 5 rugs till I knew exactly what I was doing. The first 5 before that Snoopy rug, the very first rug I ever made, I had to make that like 4 times or something before I actually, 1, didn't rip the sheet, 2, actually knew what I was doing, had somewhat of an idea, 3, actually finished it. So yeah, I'd say if you're seeing like YouTube videos or TikToks and you're like, oh, that looks sick, it doesn't look too hard, when you come to the practice part, not the theory part, the practice part, just know that it's not what it seems like online. Eventually it'll be like that. It'll just be like second nature if you stick with it. But a lot of people will come into it, try to do a rug, rip the fabric. They're like, what am I doing wrong? When you go back and watch like a video, you're like, I'm doing what they did. Just, yeah, practice makes perfect. So don't think you're gonna come in and just smash them out. Maybe you do. I hope you do. I'd love to see if you do. But yeah, That would be my number 3. I wish I knew before I started making rugs. Me and my little confident self, I got put in place real quick. Number 4. What's the channel? Watchmojo.com. Number 4. Number 4, trimming. Trimming, bro, trimming, brother man, trimming. Trimming's a pain. Eventually, once you learn how to trim, it's good, it's fun. It doesn't take too long. But trimming in the beginning, the first 2 rugs, I just said I'm never trimming a rug anymore. We're just gonna keep them untrimmed. That was my mindset. Trimming sucks. But once you learn trimming, it's quite fun. It's pretty addicting, to be honest, once you've figured out what you're doing. Trimming, how dare they interrupt this video? Wait. Trimming. Everyone can do what they want to do. Bro, there's no right and wrong with rugs, you know what I mean? If you want to make a rug that's not trimmed, fucking go for it. Like, it doesn't matter. I personally like rugs trimmed. I think they look a lot cleaner. The carving makes them look a lot better. In the long run, if you do want to turn this into some kind of side hustle or business, people want their rugs trimmed. It looks a lot cleaner. You can charge a bit more because you spend a lot more fucking hours on it. I'll get into that. Trimming, I think, is the most important part of tufting, and it's the most annoying part to learn because there is videos on it, but everyone just kind of says, you know, just trim. Even I've done videos as well. I'm like, just push all the yarn to this side, from that side, push all the yarn to that side, trim that side. In theory, back to our last point, theory versus practice. Once you practice it, you'll get good. At the start, not fun. It sucks because it just doesn't do what you want it to do. So you learn how to do that while you make rugs. Yeah, I'd say trimming is definitely the biggest learning curve in tufting. I wouldn't say it's hard. You just got to stick with it. You got to figure out what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, how to do it. Another big thing, big point, which is I made this mistake, a $600 mistake. Don't make this mistake. I'll show you. Wait there. Come on. There we go. This bad boy right here, I'm sure you've seen them, Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube videos, everything. Very good thing. But back to my point. I bought those thinking, oh, bro, everyone uses these. It's what you need. It's what you just buy them and you can just trim. No. Not the slightest. Bought them, used them on the first day. I didn't want them anymore. You got to learn the concept and how to trim before you use something like that. I just thought I'd buy them. That's what people do. It somehow magically makes you be able to trim the rugs. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Don't make that mistake. If you do want to get an electric form, get the shavers. I've never bought them. I don't know why, I just never have. I got those, so I guess that makes sense. I prefer just trimming with scissors. It takes a lot longer, but it's just a lot cleaner, I reckon. But if you do want an electric form, use those. You would have seen them, just the shavers. I think they're like 100, 115 bucks. These, $400, $500, $600. If you love tufting and you get into it eventually and you make it like, it doesn't even need to be a business. If you just enjoy making rugs and you get big rugs, these are amazing. Big rugs, like anything above like 1.5, 2 meter rugs, they just chop off hours of work. So they're really good. They're really good. Don't buy them when you're starting. You don't need a $500 pair of scissors. I made that mistake. Don't make that mistake. Trimming is a killer. A lot of people quit because of it, but just stick with it. You know what I mean? Just stick with it and you'll learn. Practice makes perfect. How many times have I said that in this video? Probably a few. Put them back. Last point. Point number 5. Yeah, last point number 5. We have to 5 or 4? 5. Point 5. My last point would be, come all, listen. Come around. Sit around the table. Last point would be, don't look at tufting. So when you come into tufting, don't look at it as, oh, I can make a lot of money from this. This is a good business idea. If you start tufting with that mindset, you're not going to enjoy it. I can just tell you now. I know it's typical. Everyone says that. Let's say you make it, it becomes a little bit of a business when you start getting designs you don't like, you don't want to do, you're not excited to do. It's not going to be as fun. You're not going to enjoy it. Rugs are going to take longer to make. Like, it's going to feel like a chore. If you start tufting, just come into it. Like when I came into it, I was just like, bro, I'm bored during COVID. Let's make some rugs. They look sick. If you got that mindset of, oh, that looks pretty cool, I might enjoy that. Give it a go. I know it's a little bit expensive to get into, but give it a go. If you enjoy it, then maybe side hustle or a rug business or something like that. It is very rewarding. You get to make some cool stuff. You get to talk to some cool people. So if you really do enjoy tufting, who knows? Who knows? I'm just down here. I'm little guy just chilling. We're trying to get to middle guy, and then maybe one day we'll get top guy. But fingers crossed. Point 5. What was it? What was point 5 again? Oh yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy what you do. Very typical, isn't it? Enjoy it, or you're not gonna enjoy it. Enjoy what you do. Otherwise, you're gonna hate it. There you go. That's what I'll leave you with. I think that's right. I think that's everything. I think that's all the things I wish I knew. If you do have any other questions, just put them below. I am enjoying this YouTube thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite fun. Tuft off social, and all socials tuft off. Oh, wait a second. Did you sub? Did you follow? Did you like? Thanks. Okay, we're back. Cool. Hope this video did help. If you have any questions, put them below. I love to answer them. Also, if you have any questions on Instagram, just send them through. If you have any rugs that you need help with, just send through a message. I'm happy to help. See what I can do. But that's the 5 things I wish I knew before I started making rugs. Peace.